Well, another fabulous week of discussion. We started out perhaps a little simplistically, but then the rigor really kicked up. You guys have picked up on my method of asking questions and probing and adding information. You really did a wonderful job of helping each other consider the complexities of this kind of training situation. As you know, the probing doesn't mean that the initial answer is wrong. It just means that there are other factors to consider and other perspectives to take. After all, there is no one best way to approach training and development. Each approach has advantages and disadvantages. Pick your trade-off. You have to recognize the limits of each approach that you use so that you can reduce the effect of those limits. And the other thing is, what seems simple may not be. For example, in this case, you didn't have one set of training needs, you had two sets of training needs. The new teachers needed information, and they needed training that would help them provide a context, which they didn't already have, in order to integrate that information and apply it. Meanwhile, the experienced teachers had plenty of context. You were giving them information, but you were also working to change their behaviors, and that can be even more difficult. So in Module 4, we will focus on transferring newly learned skills to the workplace. Much more detail on the kinds of issues that we dealt with the experienced teachers in the last week. How do you get people to not only learn, but to do things differently on the job? That's so much harder than it seems. And we're also going to address issues of employee and management development, preparing people for new jobs. We also have another group project. Again, please be sure that you connect with your groups early. If you're going to have a synchronous session like a chat or a phone call, set that up early. Be sure at the very least that you know how you're going to communicate. I recommend you use the group area, the discussion tools, the email there, and the locker so that you can share your work. And if you put something up, please email each other, post there so that everybody knows what you've done. We also, just to make sure that you know you have feedback on your first two sections of your paper, please use that information to make course corrections that are needed. My goal is for everybody to get an A on the final paper. And what I'm trying to do with the feedback is give you the information you need to do that. See you in the discussion.